all set. There we go. I even did my hair.
I know.
I did my hair for you. This is rare.
I would have done my hair. I didn't know we were going to be on video.
You look great. But you're like all done up, and it's nice because everyone who's been coming in, with the exception of a few, like just coming in after their workout, they've been like coming in like done up and stuff. I'm like, hey, this is a video, and they're like, oh. Some people asked to do it again, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome back to the Better Fitness Proof podcast. It's me, Matt April, your host, and I'm joined by one of our amazing OG members, Louise, or as we know as Wheezy or Wheeze. What's up, Wheeze?
Not much. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Good. Can you introduce yourself to everybody who doesn't know you and tell us a little bit about your story?
Sure. My name is Louise McGinty. For work, I work for a local labor union, and I've been here since the beginning of 2018. Do we just dive in and tell me how I found this place?
Let's talk about first of all let's capture everybody. So your journey it's pretty unique. We'll talk about the surgery. And what was the surgery?
I had open heart surgery when I was 12. I was born with a ventricular septal defect, which is just commonly known as a hole that needed to be fixed.
Oh my gosh.
And it got fixed in the middle of puberty.
Whoa.
At 12.
I want to hear this. And I want everybody to know, but I want to tie them in. So we've had that. You've overcome that, and you're still going through some struggles. Mm-hmm. But as of now, you have made some amazing progress.
Yeah.
And we have the in-body results to show the body fat changes and the composition changes you made. We have the side-by-side pictures that you've done. But Louise, your journey is very eye-opening, mind-blowing, awesome. And you've battled with so much. So much.
Yeah. It's been an up and down hill battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So bring me back to 12. Bring me back to how do you even know that was a thing?
I was born with it, and they knew it was a congenital heart defect. They knew before I was born something was probably wrong, right? And I was a little blue when I was born. But it was the 80s, and they were like, it's going to heal on its own. She's going to be all right. Just come to the heart doctor every year. And eventually, it actually happened because my cardiologist at Lankenau was retiring, and I needed a new one. But I just happened to be going to a neurologist at DuPont because I would get migraines all the time in 5th and 6th grade. And he kind of pulled my mom aside and was like, why has her heart not been fixed? And she's like, what are you talking about? And he said, all right, well, I'm going to refer you to I needed a new cardiologist, and we found one. And the day I met her, she's like, you're going to meet Dr. Norwood because you're going to have this fixed. So, we scheduled my heart surgery that day.
Whoa. So you're 12.
I'm 12.
You go in for a regular check?
I might have still been 11 at that point.
Was it a regular checkup that you went in for?
It was a regular, every year you go, you have an echo and an EKG done, and they were like, all right, we're going to fix this.
How did that news affect you? What did you feel?
I remember sitting in the surgeon's office before we met him. And of course my mom was trying to keep it together, and she was just probably pale as could be. And I said, so open heart surgery means your heart's open to the air? And my mom was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's so gross. I just had no concept of how serious it was until literally I woke up from the surgery and was like, what happened to me?
Oh my gosh.
Which I think they explained it to me. I mean, but how do you explain that to a 12-year-old?
Right. So what was life like after the surgery?
So the life after the surgery was kind of rough.
As a teen?
Yeah. I mean, I was starting 7th grade, and I was just constantly in pain. I was always hit these strong chest pain, stabbing chest pains, and it would go down my arm, and it was just uncomfortable for years. And then eventually, I guess when I was going to 7th grade when that happened, and then when I was a junior in high school, I just the pain was just it was all the time. And I had gone to the emergency room a couple of times because it's left arm pain must be heart. It never was. My heart is pretty much all fixed. I have a tiny residual hole, which is common. And finally, my senior year of high school, my pediatrician recommended I go see a cardiothoracic surgeon again because I just was in pain all the time. It was just so uncomfortable, and it kept getting worse. And I had x-rays because and what my pediatrician had said is, sometimes so when you have heart surgery, they crack you open. So to put you back together, they a lot of times use wire they wire your sternum back together. So I had these, like, I had 4, and I still remember, like, very distinctive. It looked like twist ties. It looks like they like wrapped the, wire around my sternum and twist tied it so it heals. So your sternum heals, the bone goes back together. And at that point it was healed. And I didn't have an infection or anything. So I saw this surgeon and he was like, yeah, I think one of them is turned a little bit. And I think that's like what's giving you discomfort. So
at what age was this?
I was 17.
17, okay.
And so 2 days after Christmas, my senior year of high school, I had the wires taken out of my sternum, which was like an outpatient. I went home that day. They cut the same exact incision. Yeah. And it was like a gamble. My parents let me make the decision if I was going to have it or not, because he was like, this could be it, but it might not. So it definitely...
Oh my gosh, hold on, wait. The doctor said that to you? This could be it?
I mean, this could be what it is, but they didn't know.
Oh, as in like this could be it, like that.
This could be like why I'm having pain.
Oh, I thought you meant like this could be it, as in like you weren't going to come out of this surgery.
Oh no! Oh my gosh!
Like,
oh my gosh! No, I'm so sorry.
That's so good.
So sorry. No.
Like you say that to a 17-year-old?
It wasn't heart related at all. It was all thoracic. It was all like my sternum wasn't like touched other than taking the wires out.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, and it was painful. It wasn't as painful as my heart surgery was, obviously. But like immediately after, while I was healing, I kept having this like weird, like skin soreness kind of thing, like this weird feeling. And I went to Catholic high school, so we had to wear button-down shirts, and it was winter, so we wore a button-down shirt and then a sweater over. And I remember I always wore like tank tops or a t-shirt underneath my button-down shirt. And I remember always like having to like pull the shirt away because I couldn't stand anything like touching my chest, and it was just like so uncomfortable, and I kept missing school because I was just so uncomfortable. And my mom finally and in between those 5 years, I went to different doctors. One doctor was like, oh, some teenage girls just have chest pains, and like maybe she has acid reflux. And I was like, what on earth? Like my mom's like, she had heart surgery. I don't think it's
right.
acid reflux, but so my mom finally, I don't know how she thought to send me to a neurologist. And the neurologist, I'll never forget, he took like a long, like the long Q-tips, like the wooden ones. I don't know what they're actually called. And he broke it. So it was like a pointy end. And he just like very gently ran it down one side of my scar. And I like practically screamed. I was like, oh my God, stop doing that. And then he took a tissue and he twisted it, and he just the very tip just like touched around my scar. And I was like, stop doing that. It was like nails on a chalkboard. It was so uncomfortable. And he was like, oh, she has neuralgia.
Oh my God.
So he explained it that like when you're cut from surgery or any cut, wires go back together. It's like the pink wire goes to the pink wire, yellow goes to yellow. And he's like, so your wires didn't go back correctly. Now you have oversensitivity. So
that's why you're always pulling away the shirt.
It was so uncomfortable.
Oh,
I had it was oversensitive. It was just so uncomfortable. They put me on an anti-inflammatory and Neurontin. I remember that name. And oh my gosh, I forgot. At some point in between 7th grade and 12th grade, I had costochondritis. Do you know what that is?
No, what is
Weightlifters
that?
sometimes get that.
What's that?
It's when the cartilage, like, in between your ribs will have, like, tears. Wow. Your ribs and your sternum will have tears. It's pretty uncomfortable. But weightlifters actually sometimes, very often, get that. Wow. I had that. When I, like, right before I had the second surgery... When I talked to the cardiothoracic surgeon about having it, I like jokingly said, well, can I just like have plastic surgery too? And he was like, yeah, we could have a plastic surgeon like close you all up, and I'll call down right now. We could work together and we can just like make you not have a scar anymore. Cause like no other 17-year-old had a giant pink, like worm looking scar. Right. And I remember sitting in sitting next to my mom. She always took me to my appointments. My dad was always there too. And I was looking through a magazine. We were at the plastic surgeon's office, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get like the lowest like drop neck dress for senior prom. Like I'm going to have a scar, and I'm going to do this. And I remember like looking through magazines, and the surgeon was like, okay, well, if you do this, you won't be able to do physical activity. This is the thinnest skin on your body, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, well, I can't do that. I take dance classes. I'm finally taking point class. Like, I should have started 5 years ago. I'm finally taking point class this year. And he was like, no, you can't take dance. If I do this, you're going to ruin all the work I do. So I had to like decide again at 17, like, all right, am I going to have the surgery or not? My parents let me decide. Like, they were like, this is up to you. Like, here's the pros and cons. And then decide if I was going to try to have a revision done. And I didn't. Wow. It's a good thing because then I had a third surgery.
Oh my God. So wait. Okay. So you had to make that decision at 17 to whether or not you should get surgery to improve the aesthetic of your...
Yeah, like I was having the wires taken out. Do I have a plastic surgeon close it up so it looks normal? And I decided not to. I remember talking to my dance teacher about it. I was like, I'm finally taking point. Because I had so many other health issues my whole life that I just stopped and started dance all the time.
So on top of the heart, you had other health issues that you were dealing with?
I mean, yeah, just like random weird stuff that happened when I was younger.
You're going through so much. Yeah. And then so there's a third surgery.
There's a third surgery.
When was that?
So that was the junior year of college. I was 21. So like those, like 3 years, was I a junior? Yeah, I was a junior. Those 3 years, I just like had this like nerve pain. It was just so annoying. It was so annoying and so uncomfortable. And like it was just all the time. And like, if I had to like stay up all night to write a paper, I knew, okay, the next day I'll be able to go to class and that's all I'm going to be able to do because I'm going to have to lay in bed with like an ice pack and like, just stupid stuff that of course no one my age was dealing with, like just being in pain. And so finally I was like, I can't take this anymore. I went back to the same cardiothoracic surgeon and he was like, well, I actually have 2 other patients who were older than me at the time that I did this like kind of experimental procedure on because they had also had 2 surgeries, same incision, nerve damage, ridiculous amount of scar tissue. Like I scar so bad. I mean, I've been hypertrophic all these years. Like my scar never like went away. That's just how I scar. And he's like, you can try it. Like, it's going to be really, really painful, and it might be hard to recover from, but they're living really great lives. I actually talked to both of them. Like, he gave me they were happy to contact me, and I asked tons of questions. And again, my parents let me make the decision, like, are you going to have this? And I was like, I'm sick of being in pain. I'm sick of this. Like, I'm just going to try it. I'm so sick of this. And I remember the same surgeon saying, you're going to feel like you were hit by a Mack truck. Like, this is going to be a really hard surgery. And I was like, whatever. Like, I've already been through a lot. Why not try it? And again, I remember waking up from that surgery and oh God, it's like almost like traumatizing still. I was like, what the hell did I sign up for? Oh. Why did I let them do this to me? This is not the pain I thought I was going to be in. And it was just like, it was traumatic. I was in the hospital for like 6 days with like, yeah, it was rough. So that was a sternal debridement and muscle flap reconstruction. So they like scooped out all my old scar tissue. They cauterized my nerves at my sternum so that I was numb. So I'm still numb across my chest, which I'm happy about. Like, my scar is numb. And they cut and moved my pecs to somewhere up here. I don't know where.
Oh my goodness.
To try to prevent more scar tissue from forming, because I had so much scar tissue. So.
Oh my gosh. So that was at 21.
It was 21.
Whoa. So bring me to more recent time then. So you were going through all this, and we met in 2018. Mm-hmm. So in 2018, when you reached out, give me the mindset, give me the physical and the mental well-being of Louise when we first met.
So 2018, I was already like starting my weight loss journey. I'd lost some weight. And my nutritionist was like, I will always credit her for this. She was like, you need to move more. You're 30 now. You got to move more. And I was like, oh my God, okay. Do I have to join a gym? Like, I was taking dance classes again. And I was doing like at home workouts. And it just like wasn't enough because I didn't know what to do. And I was never a gym goer. Like, I was afraid to go to the gym. I gained 100 pounds between college and grad school. So I was like in the process of getting that weight off, and I found Ben on Better on Facebook, And I like stalked every single picture and video because I was absolutely terrified to go to a gym. Like, I'm going to sweat and look fat and not know what to do. And I'm going to hurt my chest. Like, my fear since I was 12 is that I'm going to hurt my chest. I mean, I'm 34. I'm still dealing with that. And I came and I felt comfortable and I was nervous. The first night I was supposed to come, I've told you this, there was an ice storm and you had to close. And I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, I don't have to go tonight. And I didn't want to go the next day, but I did. And I felt comfortable. And it was so interesting. I mean, I still find it fascinating that I'm like one of the strong ones.
Yeah, you are.
And I was never one of the strong ones. I wasn't physically fit. I didn't do sports. I danced, but I didn't do sports. I hated physical activity. And then I had all these health problems and all these surgeries. So like I was never like the fit, strong one. And I've told you this story 400 times, but the very first few weeks I was here, you told me to go either from like a 5 to 10 or 10 to 15 pound dumbbell chest press. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And you were like, no, it's okay. I'm going to stand right behind you and you're not going to. I was like, I'm going to drop it. It's going to fall on my sternum. My sternum's going to crack. It's going to crack open again. And you were like, that's literally not going to happen at all. I'm going to be right here. And I like, it was like literally almost like an out of body experience because it was like 12-year-old me was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Like it's going to hurt just as bad as that time you woke up from the surgery. Like you let them do that to you. Don't do it to now. You're in control this time. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I did it. And I was like, oh my God, I did it. I did it. And it didn't fall and I didn't hurt myself. And it was just like, that was like the moment that I was like, wait a minute, I can do this and I can do things and not hurt myself and not just keep going back to like, I'm the heart surgery kid. I'm not that kid anymore. Yeah, I still have the scar, but like, I'm not the heart surgery kid anymore. I'm Louise and I can lift heavy weights now.
Yes. I love that. Yes. And it's been a journey ever since then too.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
That first time, because I remember that experience too. And I said those things like, I'm going to spot you. I'm going to be right here. I'm not going to leave you. I will be by your side this whole time. We're going to do it. And I think I may have even had like my hands on your wrist, just like to make sure that you knew that there was some security there. A little security blanket. I didn't help at all, but I probably just had my hands there.
Yeah,
and then you went through and did it, and it was like this big moment. And then every time since then, it's anything that's been involving your chest, there's always been a little bit of doubt. Sometimes there's a little less, sometimes a little more, depending on what we're doing, right? And like how heavy things are and what the expectation is.
Yeah.
But you've always been able to step up to the challenge. And if you're not quite there, you know that you're going to work toward it. And that's something that I've always admired.
Thank you.
Is that even though you're not someone who has been an athlete in your life,
never
lifted weights, like never did these things. Look at you now in 2021. You're doing these things that most people couldn't even imagine themselves doing. You're doing on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I get mad if I have to like go down and weigh. Like,
yeah,
oh man,
I know.
My shoulder's sore today. I can't lift this. No. Yeah.
And there's still challenges that come up, right? So even though we've gotten past, we've worked through and we've moved on, but we haven't left it in the past. Your limitations with your chest, mental and physical.
I think it's mostly mental.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because you've proven yourself time and time again that
physically
you're there.
I can lift stuff.
You can lift some heavy stuff. But you've been able to do it consistently. And there have been challenges that have come up, right? So let's talk about the things between 2018 and now. The challenges that you've had, even just any of them, anyone.
Oh my gosh.
The most recent, in the past, whatever it is. But I think it's important for your journey to show that as a self-discovery journey for yourself, what you went through and where you are now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So many other things. I mean, I definitely struggle with body image issues, with eating, disordered eating. My nutritionist is the one that was like, hey, I think you need therapy. And I was like, I made it through all of that crap. What do I need therapy for? Like, I'm strong. Well, no, apparently all those experiences were pretty traumatic and it's stuck with me mentally and physically. So, I was diagnosed with PTSD, like shocker. I've had a lot of trauma and that has impacted me. Like my body image issues, I think go back to like the issues I've had with my health. Like I was the sick kid and it's, I'm working through that. My shoulder has been hurting for the last like year and a half and I did PT. I'm pretty confident it's related to this, the last surgery where they moved my, my pecs around and normally, I think this is what I just said to you last week. Like normally, because my shoulders bother me, I can't lift very heavy today, whatever. Normally I'm like, oh my God, it's my surgeries again. They'll never leave me alone. Why do I have to be this like different one? And I'm never like the, oh God, why'd you do this to me kind of person. But it's like, why can't I just be normal? Like, why do I have to keep revisiting this? Why do I have these issues like with my chest and anything like from my rib cage to my neck? And I'm not like that anymore. Now it's like, all right, well, just figure out how to fix this instead of going back to like the traumatized child that, is afraid that their chest is going to get hurt. Like that's not me anymore.
What was it that helped you make that shift?
What you said to me. What did you compared strength training to retirement savings?
Yeah,
right. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Investments. Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Your struggles with wanting to go heavy.
Yes.
And I said, no, back off.
Yep,
Like go down lower.
Yep. Whether you put in $1 by just showing up or $50 by going heavy, you're still making an investment. So that really helped me not go into that mindset of like, oh my God, I'm never going to be normal. Like, what's normal? Yeah, I don't know what normal is.
Everyone's normal is different too.
Yeah.
Which is something that I think a lot of people overlook, especially in fitness, because we're always surrounded by, if you're working out in either a class or a small group like we do, or if you're working out at like a big box gym where you see everybody else around you, or you're just someone who's on social media all the time and you see everyone else doing things, we're always surrounded by all these external forces feeding into us. And unfortunately, what we see is what we usually think, and then what we usually think is what then plagues or can limit us or hold us back, or maybe excel us, depending on what your input is.
Yeah.
But for you and for the people who are listening in, the analogy that you said that we had talked about was exactly that. You were struggling with the idea of having to go down in weight when you knew you could do way more than what we were doing. And I said, really simply, I want you to think of lifting and strength training as your investment portfolio. Yeah. Think of that as your investment portfolio, and think of fitness as a general, like cardio and everything else can be thought of as like your checking account, right? There's ins and outs all the time with your checking account. But the investment portfolio, no matter what you do, if you contribute $1 or $50 or $100, whatever it is, day in and day out, just a little bit, 50 cents even, just a little contribution time by time, that will compound over time. So that way it's not like, oh, it's only 25 cents today. Like that 25 cents could very well turn into so much more down the road and contributing to what you've already been working on.
Yeah. And I was sore after that. So I was like, oh, I guess I was working. Even if it felt like,
well, you slowed it down and you're being more mindful of your movements, which is always a key. And you've always done a really good job of that. Yeah. So Louise, I mean, you have such an inspiring story because you've overcome not one surgery, not two surgeries, but 3 surgeries. And with all that you've also dealt with, and you're still going through and working through the mental limitations that you have. Yeah. And working through. So with like your therapy experience and things, like what were some of the biggest wins that you've uncovered for yourself?
Well, I feel like I should say what I realized last year. So which all plays into mental. During the pandemic, you guys did virtual the entire time, and my husband is, a lineman for an electric company. So in 2020, there was a lot of storms, and he worked a ton of overtime. So I was home alone a lot, and I don't really have the work structure where I was having like daily meetings with people, like Zoom meetings with coworkers. It was like me. So I was in solitude. We have no kids. We have a cat. So it was like me and the cat all the time for all of quarantine. But the Wednesday morning coffees were great. I always made sure I got up in time for that. But I realized last year, oh my gosh, when I go on Zoom and see other humans at the gym and then I work out, my mood is so much better. Like I'm mentally better. And that was like a huge revelation for me because I was never like the exercise type. I was never like the fitness person. Yeah, dance school like helped me get through high school when I was like dealing with like pain and surgeries and all that. But I never realized until last year that I need to be physically active for my mental health. So now that I am in therapy and I'm going
to interrupt you. It's okay. What you just said was awesome. Say that again, the physical part for your mental.
I need to physically be active for my mental health.
So good.
Yeah. And the atmosphere that's here with other humans is like, I need that. Like I am a Pisces woman and like that is what I need. I need interaction with humans. And we have that here. And so working through, now that I'm in therapy and I'm going through like just fixing up these parts that I thought were not broken, that I don't want to say broken, but they're, just need some help, right? The gym, like physical activity, is part of that. And yeah, I have to keep coming to the gym. It keeps me sane. I never understood when people are like, oh, I have to go running so that I'm like balanced or I feel sane or I won't lose my mind. I'm like, oh my God, who wants to go running? I know you're training for a marathon, but like it's been 3.5 years. I don't like running still, and I never will. But now it's like, oh, I get it. Like I get it. It's insane. It's all connected. Mm-hmm. It's all connected.
It is. It's totally, and that's so good. I'm going to use this moment now. I'm going to do a little commercial.
Okay.
And we'll wrap it up. And I want you to think of something that you would say maybe to yourself or to someone who has suffered through surgeries and who has never been in fitness, but who knows that, and maybe they've heard of it or they've seen or they feel like fitness could be the answer they're looking for, but they've never experienced it because of whatever limitations they feel mentally or physically. I want you to put yourself in the shoes of that person because you've lived through it now and you've gone through so much and you've accomplished so much, Louise, and you're still on this journey. Like I know that you're still not satisfied because you want to keep moving forward. So I want you to think about what you say to that person.
Okay.
We'll do this commercial, then you're going to jump in and do it. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
All right. So hello, if you're hanging out with us on YouTube, hi, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Make sure you swing by our YouTube channel, click the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up in this video because Louise is amazing and because you like this one and you want to support the show. And then comment in the comment section below. Let us know what surgeries you've overcome and what struggles you've dealt with to overcome and move forward in your own fitness journey or wherever you are in life. And then if you're listening to this on a podcast, whatever podcasting platform you're listening to, please make sure you give us a 5-star review because that's how we're going to be able to help more people and change more lives by sharing these stories. If you don't think it's worth 5 stars, that's totally fine. Just send me an email at matt@bentonbetter.com. And on that, I'm going to swing it back to Louise. Louise, end us on a positive note. End us on a Louise. I almost said Severese, but I want Louise McGinty.
I still didn't change my last name.
Give me that.
Yeah. So if you are someone who has had health issues and surgeries, I thought that I was strong because I had experienced a lot. And not that I wasn't, but I never knew the physical strength that I had. And if you've already overcome surgeries or illness or just like really hard times, like you are already strong, and having the component of knowing how physically strong you are is like a whole new level. It is just like I'm not that sick kid anymore. I'm that strong woman at the gym now. And it's gratifying. Yeah.
So good. It was so good. Oh, bomb. Well, that wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You're awesome. You're awesome. We appreciate you. Awesome. We'll see you next time. Bye. That was so great. You're so